Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and together we are going to be playing around with a very calm reading today to look into any nature spirits for Flora and Fauna that have some wisdom to bestow upon you. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful kindred spirits, and anyone new who decided to pop in here today and join us. If you are interested in charm casting, pick a card readings, or art magic, then definitely feel free to subscribe. But we are going to be looking into Flora and Fauna messages, any wild wisdom coming through for you, and we're going to have a very calm, just very chill reading here today. So feel free to get yourself cozy and get comfortable. And if you are interested in looking into your own private or personal reading, I have snail mail readings and digital readings out right now for 3-card and 7-card readings, all about the new year. So if that's something that you're interested in, I only have those available through the rest of January. So feel free to check those out down below. They're great for not only supporting yourself, but also supporting this channel, so I truly do appreciate it, and thank you for trusting me for bringing those messages to you. But we are going to be looking into the Flora and Fauna coming forward for you today with these cards, so let's dive into each of the piles. So for each pile, not only do you have the choice of choosing based off of the crystal or the bits of nature that I have on each of the cards, but also you get to choose based off of the card deck itself. So for pile number 1, if you are feeling called to the Woodland Warden card deck, then that would be your deck. But if you're feeling more called to the items on top of the deck, then you have this bark. It's got these really nice bark sounds coming from them. And then also on top of that, you also have this piece of obsidian for a little arrowhead. So if you're feeling called to any or all of those, then pile 1 might be for you. Here for pile number 2, if you're feeling called to the Prairie Majesty Oracle, then that would be the Oracle deck to choose from for you. Otherwise, you also can choose based off of the little crystal here of moss agate, or if you're also feeling called to this little burning bush leaf, then this might be the pile for you. And then last but not least here for pile number 3, you might be feeling called to this based off of the deck here of the Song of the Grandmother's Oracle, or you might be feeling called to it based off of this little walnut here, or you might also be feeling it based off of the crystal here of green Aventurine. So that is pile number 3. You have many decks and many choices here, so I wanted to give you a little second here to really look through at your options and take a deep breath here with me in a moment to really look through your options, connect with spirit, to connect with your own intuition. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no right or wrong way to choose your piles here. You can choose it based off of the things on top, you can choose it based off of the card decks, or you can choose just based off of your own intuition, but you don't have to choose just one. You can choose all 3, you can flip-flop between the piles, you can take bits and pieces as you go, but all the timestamps will be down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I said, if you want to look even deeper into a very private and personal reading for yourself, definitely feel free to support yourself and the channel with a snail mail reading or digital reading for the new year. So with that all said, let's go ahead and start here with pile number 1. Hello group 1, if you've decided to choose this piece of really beautiful bark as well as this obsidian arrowhead, then this is the pile for you. Not only have you chosen both of these, but also the deck of the Woodland Wardens to give you a little bit of that wild nature woodland energy, and see what wisdom is coming forward from a specific set of Flora and Fauna wisdom. So today's going to be really chill, really calm, really cozy. So definitely feel free to grab yourself some water, get a little snack, get cozy, get comfortable. And we're going to just really dive into these. We're going to be only pulling 3 cards and then going more deeply in with the charms. So this isn't going to be a super, past, present, future, very deep dive in the idea of like giving a ton of context, but rather kind of opening your mind up to some lessons, some wisdom that's coming through from these nature spirits and how you can connect with them and find those connections even beyond the reading, right? So today is going to be really cozy. Like I said, we're going to be reading right out of the guidebook and playing around with that. So yeah, let's just start out with looking into the main spirit coming through for you from the Woodland Wardens. So we're going to be pulling one from these, and then we're going to read on it in the guidebook and see how you can connect more deeply with the wisdom coming through from these cards. So definitely send in your energy, really meditate with the cards, and pause if you'd like to. And let's get right into it. So group 1, which Woodland Warden, a group of Woodland Wardens, wishes to speak to you today, to bring in a little bit of wisdom, inner knowings, deeper understandings, and the like. So interesting, you got the marten and foxglove here, with the word of choice being mischief. So what I always am thinking immediately with the foxglove here, they're very connected to fae energy, to fairies, to that whole kind of more mystical realm. So if you already work with the fae or work with fairies, this could be a very unique and specific, more spirit guide kind of message. Otherwise, the foxglove also has that mischievous energy that the fae can kind of bring forward, as they are very connected to the foxglove energy. But that being said, I want to look even deeper. I don't know a ton about marten, so I want to look a little bit more into that. So like I said, we're going to be opening up the guidebook here and seeing what it has to say. So I'm going to have it held up here in case you'd like to read it on your own or screenshot it or look at it further. But we're going to be reading through it here together. So I'll hold up the card for you. It says here, mischief. The marten and foxglove represents the archetypal trickster, the light-hearted mischief maker, the lover of chaos and spontaneity. Martens are a type of weasel known for their curiosity, quick movements, and occasional aggression. Romanian folklore tells of martens playing tricks on horses, braiding their manes in the night so that they wake to a tangled mess of hair in the morning. And foxgloves are said to be the homes of fairies, another elusive and mischievous creature. For this reason, they are associated with riddles and secrecy. Upright, pay attention to opportunities for spontaneity, travel, and playfulness, a bit of light-hearted mischief, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone and can be healthy. Reverse, be aware of others' dishonesty. A trick or scam may be afoot. And the question that these two wardens like to bring forward for you today are, do you embrace spontaneity? And can you learn to let go and make room in life for more adventure? So I really like the spontaneity energy, the fact that I was feeling called to that mischievous elusiveness of the fairies. Shows me that the energy of the fae are really coming forward for you. And also, like it said, that mischievous energy in a very playful, fun, and healthy way. So I want to see more context, of course. So we're going to look a little bit further with 2 extra cards that we're going to put on both sides to look into more of the context around this card and how you can implement it more into your life, use this wisdom more into your life, and to seek out more spontaneity even. So where in your life could maybe you spice it up, bring a little bit more adventure, some more spontaneity, some more elusive, dreamy, floaty kind of energy. So we're gonna look here and see what it has to say. I chose the Gentle Tarot because it has a lot more of that earthy quality to it. So here we are with the Two of Stones. So what I like about the Two of Stones is it talks about sort of juggling a lot of things in your life. And so right now you might be juggling, or a lot of things are maybe up in the air. That's the energy that I'm getting here with the Two of Stones. You can even see they've kind of got, you know, that energy of something being just up in the air, and you're having to kind of figure it out in the meantime. And so because a lot of things are up in the air, this is a really good opportunity for you to kind of bring in more of that spontaneous energy, see where you can embrace a little bit of creativity, playfulness, even with all these colors coming in, this beautiful light being illuminated on you. Shows that right now is a really good time to kind of maybe even connect with your inner child, connect with your more creative, playful side, and allow yourself to even play around more with humor, and use humor and laughter and that joyful giddiness as sort of a healing exercise and a way to get out nervous energy, get the giggles out, right? So I'm getting this feeling that like right now maybe you're feeling a little bit more uptight because things are up in the air, maybe because right now there are so many opportunities for so many new beginnings. It's difficult to sometimes get your footing or to figure out where, you know, you sit, or where you're, you know, you don't feel maybe as grounded right now. But I feel like, you know, spirit and these wise nature spirits are really showcasing that right now it's okay. It's okay for everything to be up in the air, and for you to still laugh and to have joy and to, you know, play within this space, that you don't have to wait for the penny to drop. You don't have to wait for things to be hashed out in order to still just enjoy your time, right? Sometimes we're waiting for that thing to settle, or to get to that success, or to get to that goal, or to get something more grounded and rooted and understood fully and entirely, that we forget to just enjoy life in this moment, in this moment here and now. And I feel like that's really where this mischief, humorous, playful, creative energy is coming forward. So let's see if we can get any further wisdom with some plants here, with some flora as well as our fauna, and see what they are bringing forward with the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Group 1, any extra wisdom coming through for group 1 here? So let's see. So underneath all of that stack, you had Chickweed hanging out here, which is one of the best cards in this entire deck. Chickweed is all about new beginnings. Like I said, I feel like you're at a very fresh, pivotal moment, where, again, you're waiting for things to settle, you're waiting for a call, you're waiting for a package, you're waiting for an answer, or a calling, or an understanding, or a purpose to come forward, right? You're waiting for something, you're waiting for that penny to drop. And in that waiting, instead of wasting your time, you know, sitting, waiting, being patient, you can have that all happening. But Chickweed is showing, you know, to sort of count your blessings, to be grateful for the things that are blooming and blossoming. Chickweed is one of those very, very teeny tiny, if you guys have ever seen chickweed, it's very small. It's easy to walk right past as spring is just beginning to bloom, all of its flowers, and for everything to begin growing. And chickweed can be easily missed, easily walked right on past, but it is a beautiful reminder to look for those little moments, to look for those, you know, to be present in the moment, to really take in those tiny little blessings in those mundane, simple moments. And again, it feels very humorous, it feels very light, it feels bubbly and giggly and fun. And I feel like it's really easy to walk right past that laughter, to walk right past these opportunities for play and mischief and jokes and giggles. So maybe put on some romantic comedies, you know, watch a comedy with a friend, maybe make time to hang out with the fairies, you know, play within your creative side and see what comes through. So I want to see any other last little details here with the charms, and go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see a little bit closer on everything here. But let's go ahead and see what the charms have to say. group 1. Okay, so when it comes to everything that you have here, what I love is you have love showing up here over on the side, peace, joy, jokes, right? So we have a little J here, we have a love being kind of locked away, and then we have the peace charm. And so I just feel like jokes, joy, laughter, that peaceful, playful inner, it almost feels like, when a child just has like no worries in the world because they just know they're supported. They know that they have this faith in and trust in those around them. And I feel like humor is that way for you to find trust, to find healing, to find understanding, and to connect with others. And I feel like it's going to give you a lot of peace, a lot of joy, a lot of understanding and compassion and tenderness for yourself, and unlock a little bit more love towards yourself as well at this time, while things are still kind of up in the air. And I think also, I do think that the things that are up in the air, Spirit is definitely showing that it's going to be successful. We have a star coming forward. Chickweed also has all these stars showing up here, and stars are, a form of success, or a symbol of success. So I really do feel like success is on your side. We didn't really get anything here in the center, which is totally fine, right? Because I really feel like this is just showcasing more of the overall themes. Whereas chickweed, by the way, the number for chickweed is 9, and it's in the spring suit, if I didn't mention that already. But we have a little crab coming forward here. Crabs are a symbol, or are associated rather with the sign Cancer. And Cancers can be very protective and loving and caring, and they have this beautiful soft mushy side to them, but they also have, they're gonna fight for the things that really matter most to them. And so that chickweed is coming forward here, and it almost feels like they're like clawing on and like really grabbing on to those small simple moments, and really maybe even the simple moments that you're having, these mundane moments that are very easily able to just pass right on by you, might be related to a Cancer in your life, someone who is in their sun, moon, or rising within that. It also could be related to kind of lifting a little bit of the weight of this chain here. This chain feels like responsibilities and tasks and to-do lists that have just been kind of piling up and piling up and piling up. And like, I'm not going to say to just get rid of and not entirely, be responsible or anything like that. But I do think, just taking a little bit of that pressure off of yourself, allowing a little bit more ease, a little bit more giggle, a little bit more space for yourself, to really live life in those moments, to bloom and to blossom here is really important, right? Sometimes we think that we have to be settled to bloom and to blossom, to really take root, but there's so many different signs within nature where, like mistletoe, right? It grows on the top of trees, it grows in the air. There's lots of different kinds of plants that you can find in nature that don't need any roots, right? They can they can get very innovative and root in other places. And so even though things are up in the air, it doesn't mean that you can't still grow roots. It doesn't mean that you can't still grow really beautiful connections and really tender and loving moments and connections with other people in your life, as well as just taking in life as a whole instead of waiting for something to happen, rather just experiencing life as it is right in the air right now. So that's kind of everything that I'm really getting for you right now, is just a reminder to have fun. Really, at the heart of your entire reading is just to have fun, to kind of let go a little bit, to give yourself the space to giggle, to enjoy life, even though things are maybe not as settled or as perfectly planned out right now. That it doesn't mean that you aren't allowed to enjoy life, to really sink your teeth into life a little bit more. So that's everything that I have for you today here, Group 1. I do hope that this has been useful to you. I know it was a little bit different, but I just wanted to sit down, chat, have a little bit of a chill time, give you a little bit of wisdom to play around with. You're welcome to take these messages and look deeper into the lore of the different plants, flora, fauna here, and go even deeper, right? Play even farther with these messages, get creative. And if you did enjoy this reading, do let me know by giving this video a like, and letting me know, tripping over my words today, but letting me know in the comments down below how it resonated for you, if this was really hitting some sort of message that really needed to make its way to you. And if you haven't already and you'd like to see more pick a card readings like this one and others with the charms and various other themes, as well as art, magic, and some more educational spiritual videos sprinkled in, then definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out those videos every single Monday. And if you would like to get a New Year's reading, I also have New Year's readings open for both snail mail options as well as digital options sent through email or through DM, if that's something that interests you, if you want to look even deeper into your new year. They're great for people who have never had a reading before, as it can really open the door to all the possibilities that are available for you in the new year. And even if you have had readings before, it can be very beneficial. So definitely feel free to check those out down below to support yourself in the channel. Thank you for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello Group 2, if you've decided to choose this little stone of moss agate as well as this little burning bush leaf, then this is the pile for you. I'll set these down here for you so you can see them during your reading, but on top of that, you also have chosen the Prairie Majesty Oracle as your oracle of choice today for your specific group of Group 2 here. So I'm very excited to see what wisdom is going to come forward from these cards, as that is the whole theme of this reading. I just really wanted to kind of sit down, to get cozy with you all, and see what is coming through for you, for the wisdom and lessons coming through. So this is going to be less of a looking into the future 2 weeks at a time or anything very time-based. This is going to be more open-ended, and a really good reading as a jumping off point to look deeper into the signs and signals coming through from spirit, from nature, from the synchronicities that have been coming in for you as well. So definitely feel free to kind of open your mind here, see what wisdom comes through, and if it doesn't all hit, definitely feel free to leave it here, and everything that you maybe learn or absorb here, that it can really help as a jumping off point. So feel free to get yourself cozy. I've got a little bit of water over here. You can hear the heat coming through the vents as it is very cold where I am. We are just going to go ahead and dive right in. So what we're going to be looking at first is the wise spirit that's coming through from the Prairie Majesty Oracle here. So these are very much prairie related signs and signals from different nature spirits of the prairie. But even if you don't live in the prairie, as I don't live anywhere near the ocean, lots of ocean spirits, they can still connect and make their wisdom known. So we're going to see what that is for you. So definitely feel free to send your own energy in here. And let's pull one in for you, Group 2. So, Group 2, which spirit is coming forward for Group 2 here today to bring a little bit of wisdom, a lesson or two, or a reminder their way? So, let's see which one has come forward for you. Ooh, I love this one. This is the prairie smoke. It's a type of flower that literally looks like smoke. It looks like very airy. It definitely has the air element coming through with this one, with liberate as the main message. What reminds me I'm free. And so this kind of reminds me in the same way that dandelions, when they have their seeds, blowing about in the wind, it has that same sort of freeing energy, and the type of energy that is also less rooted, right? Because we think of I don't know why dandelions are coming through so much for me here, but stick with me. The dandelion, right? It has to put a lot of trust in the wind, the winds of change, if you will, and the breath and air around them to find a place to take root, right? They don't really get to choose where the seed is going to fall. They don't really get to choose what wish a kid makes on them, right, to make these seeds blow about. But they just trust that where they're going to land is where they need to be. So there is this level of trust that's coming through for me, as well as the liberate and free message. But as always, I want to look a little bit deeper, so I'm going to pull out the guidebook here. Yours is in the blue suit, which is all about feel, and your feelings and your emotions. So it says here, honoring your emotions without judgment, while ushering in more desirable states here. And you have Prairie Smoke. So I'm going to hold it up here if you want to, pause and read it on your own. But I'm going to go ahead and read it with you, and feel free to grab, a notebook or something, write down keywords or messages that really stand out to you, and you're welcome to use those as jumping off points here. But let's go ahead and see what it has to say. So, Prairie Smoke. Density of form and feeling is part of the human experience, but we don't have to center our consciousness there. How can we feel into an alternative understanding? The ethereal floral wisps atop prairie smoke are a helpful visual for expanding your sense of self as eternally free. In bud form, her flowers hang down tightly enclosed by sepals or sepals. Soon, bumblebee forces its way in, intent on accessing the early springtime nectar. Pollination and fertilization eventually lead the flowers upright, erupting into rosy, gauzy glory. In due time, sunshine dries and wind disperses these seed heads, which begin the cycle all over again. A prairie smoke sighting suggests something is ready to unlock. She offers clues for soul searching, though the opening is up to you. Is there anything weighing you down or closing you in? Sometimes a break is needed for the breakthrough. Maybe an eternal circumstance is forcing confrontation or change, whether desired or not. What if it's part of your fertilization process? It could be an important growth opportunity. Or maybe you're picking up on heaviness without knowing exactly why. Regardless, Prairie Smoke encourages you to actively shift, without condemnation or judgment, through the power of your own choice, right in this moment. How does your body feel if you focus on a higher vibrating energy such as love, gratitude, or compassion? What beliefs naturally generate a feeling of freedom inside? Meditate on what would help you to reframe. So there we are with Prairie Smoke. So not only are we talking about freedom, but we're also talking about, like I said, that feeling of trust and of something unlocking or unfurling, right? To lead to a breakthrough. I liked the idea of sometimes there are things that make their way into our lives that don't really feel that great, that don't really feel that awesome to be around, right? But they lead us to those breakthroughs. They lead us to those lessons that we need, those harder, difficult lessons to learn, that sometimes we have to find freedom, we have to break through something or to unlock something from within. So we're going to look deeper into what it is that you might be unlocking, breaking through, finding or liberating yourself from, right? So it's not just freedom. Liberation comes from overcoming something or breaking through something. So we're going to see where that breakthrough really lies with a little bit more context here. So group 2 with Prairie Smoke. What do we got coming in? Ooh, the Four of Wands. I love this Four of Wands because it's so beautiful in the fact that it really showcases this unfurling energy, this unlocking energy through liberation and through transformation. But to get to the other side, right, we have to, it almost, you know what I'm really seeing here? I'm seeing like an hourglass. I don't know if anyone else is seeing it. And you're still kind of at the bottom of it, and you have to kind of transform to get to the light at the top. So I feel like you're kind of like, if this was an hourglass, right, you're still kind of in the sands. You're still kind of digging yourself out of something. And so there might be something right now that have been, because the 4 can represent foundations, right? Or if you think of it as a foundation, it's maybe a foundation with someone around you, with a situation. So, right, a job you found yourself in and kind of settled into, a relationship. It feels like something you found yourself into and kind of got comfortable, got settled, but are realizing that it's just, as time goes on, it's kind of just weighing you down. It didn't really do what you were hoping it would do for you. It's not really hitting all of the needs that need to be met for you, or it's just slowly filling with sand as time goes on, right? It's weighing you down. It's getting heavier and harder to truly embrace and to utilize its energy to the best, right? It's definitely not as equal as it once was when you started. And that happens sometimes, right? Sometimes we think we're going into something that we're really hopeful for. We're hoping that job's going to work out. We hope that connection with someone's going to really bloom and blossom. We hope that we can learn Spanish in a year or something like that, right? And then as time goes on, we realize that maybe we actually wanted to learn French, or maybe it would be better to use a different app, or maybe this wasn't the exact fit that you were hoping for. Maybe it's better to pivot or change just slightly, or making a little bit of an adjustment. And so that's really what I'm seeing here. But I do feel like it's a bigger adjustment than maybe you were expecting. And to really free yourself from this, to liberate yourself, or to break through the surface of this, there's definitely a need for transformation in some form. So I want to see what that transformation might look like with a few more nature spirits here, the different seeds that come through here as well. So group 2. Ooh, it fell right where it needed to be. You have birch coming forward here. I love birch. Birch is one of the first trees to grow back right after a fire. And so the fact that you got prairie smoke, which makes me think of, like fire or something like that. It's one of the very, very first trees to grow after a difficult situation, after a forest fire, after some sort of devastation, or something that's just sort of leveled that foundation, right? Opened up the space as a wildfire would, but it's opened up the space for something new to grow. And so right now there's something for you to make a big transformation with, so that something new can grow. Something new that can really bring a tether to you, and that really brings in this new beginning and a lot more opportunity for you than where you are currently. It's got that same openness that we were feeling like with the idea of them like opening up with their hands up here, the liberation of the feeling of that dandelion, of just sort of opening up and unfurling. But there's a lot of unfurling, opening kind of energy coming in here, which just is telling me that right now, whatever it is that you have is really weighing you down to the point that you can't even really blossom or bloom. You're just kind of staying stagnant. You're just kind of holding up the fort, but not necessarily growing or evolving. And I feel like the cards here are really showcasing that there's a new beginning on its way in, or an opportunity for you to pivot, to change. But you're going to really have to trust in yourself. You're really going to have to trust in that transformation. Trust, like I said, with that analogy of the dandelion seed floating through the wind. We don't know where we're going to land, but sometimes we just have to trust the process. And that's what I'm really getting here, is trust, liberation, transformation, and new beginnings. So I want to look even further with some more context here, and we're going to do that with some charms. So let's go ahead and pull some for you here, group 2. Okay, so we had quite a few charms that were just sort of flying out here, so I'm going to see if any of them were meant to be here and get a bit more of a better look. So I'll zoom you in here. You've got nothing falling in the new beginnings to give us any context, which, you know, if you're looking for those new beginnings, I can see that being a bit frustrating. But I think that's the whole point, is that it's that trust, is that, you know, when we level a forest, right, with a wildfire, you don't know what's going to grow afterwards, right? We don't always know what's going to bloom there. And so we're not sure exactly what's going to bloom here, but there is that sense of trust definitely coming forward. We also have a very optimistic creative star here, showcasing that that fiery orange energy, that feeling again of with prairie smoke, and the fact that I keep bringing up the fire analogy is that there's something just needing to burn, something that, you know, one of the cards here, I just feel like I need to pull it out for you, is the burn card of wildfire. And it says here, what is ready to go so I can grow? And I really feel like that is like the extra layer that we're seeing over here, along with everything else. And that's what I'm really getting from that star. And so there's something that really needs to go in that foundation, that is still weighing you down, and that's really what's just coming through heavily with all of this. You also got the trim charm, but you had it upside down. So usually when I get the trim charm, it means to take your time, slowly trim things off. You know, it's a process, and this is more of a, you just gotta jump in with 2 feet and see what happens kind of thing. And that's what really is showing up here for me, is that you kind of have to have a leap of faith coming up here soon, one that is going to make you really have to dive deep. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a very deep dive into this charm, so it really feels like you're diving very deep. This also has Neptunian energy to it as well, in case you want to look in dive deeper here. But then you also have the security charm showing up here too, with the safety pin. So it's also needing for freedom to come forward. Sometimes you have to take those safety rails off. You have to take a little bit more of a risk. You have to allow yourself to jump and see what happens. And so that leap of faith is coming through in multiple ways here. So overall, when I'm looking at everything that you have here, the biggest theme is like to just jump in, to see and trust that wherever you're going to be planted, you will grow. And also, you know, not only grow, but you're going to be thriving so much more than where you are currently. And that you may not be able to see it now, especially since nothing was really showing up here with the birch beyond the card itself. It's still showcasing that, you know, you're just going to have to leap into it and see what happens. But it seems like it's going to be more successful than where you currently are, and that it's something that's going to need a lot of guts, transformation, and courage in order to really pull off. So if you're feeling stagnant right now, if you're feeling stuck in a situation that is weighing you down and getting stickier and stickier and stickier as you go, then this is definitely the sign for you to kind of look for those opportunities, those wildfires, those moments where you can kind of trim some stuff away and see where you can take that leap over the next, I'd say, 3 months. So that's really what I'm getting here for you, Group 2. I do hope this was useful to you, and if it was, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. Always curious to hear your guys' feedback. I might not reply right away, but I read everything. I'm always curious to hear. And if you like these pick a card readings and other ones, as well as educational videos on charm casting, art, magic, and the like, then do consider subscribing, as I put out these new videos every single Monday. Then do consider grabbing a New Year's reading down below by contacting me through email or Instagram DM to grab your own reading, as I have 3 card spreads, 7 card spreads, and we can even dive deeper if you want to look into your new year and to look into the biggest themes, the energy that is on its way out, the energy that's on its way in, obstacles and strengths, and all of that fun jazz. So if you want to look even deeper into your new year, if you want to support yourself and support the channel, then definitely check that all out down below. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and leave you here with your nature spirits, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you've decided to choose this piece of green Aventurine as well as this little Walnut, then this is the pile for you, as we are going to be looking into the nature spirits that are coming forward, that wild wisdom that's coming forward for you over the next couple of months, couple of weeks, all depending on the charms and cards that come forward. This is going to be super chill, very low-key, very cozy. I'm going to take my time with this one. I'm going to really slow down my words if I can, and this is going to be a much more calm reading from me, so feel free to get cozy, get settled, grab some tea, some water, some coffee, a nice snack, whatever really, floats your boat there. But the deck that you have chosen here today is the Song of the Grandmother's Oracle, and I love this one. It's one that I have been raving about ever since I got it, so I'm very excited about your choice here today, and we're going to see what wisdom is coming through from the flora and fauna all around you. So as we move through this, do feel free to use your own intuition to connect dots that you've already been seeing, coincidences, the synchronicities, the signs and signals from spirit that maybe you've already been seeing in nature all around you. Or if you feel like nature's been kind of silent because it's winter and it's cold, then this is also a great opportunity to really connect with spirit a little bit more and the nature spirits around you. So let's see what you have coming in. Group 3, which song is calling out, or nature spirit is calling out to those here listening for Group 3? And as always, do feel free to really connect with the cards, meditate with them if you'd like to, pause if you'd like to, and we're going to see which ones are coming forward for you. I feel like this deck really wants to take its time here today, so we are going to do that. That being said, feeling one out. Okay, so let's see and reveal the one you have here. Ooh, I love this one. You got Grandmother Rosemary with Source. It is the number 8 here, in case you're looking for some numerological energy or signs here from Spirit. But it says here, more than what you see, remember who you are here, your form, love itself. So because we are going to be really taking our time with this, we're gonna, of course, check out the guidebook here and see what it has to say. Yours is in the pink suit here, which is the Self-Love Grandmothers. They help us start new cycles of development by stepping out of judgment and into compassion. Sorry, got a little whited out there, but regardless, it's stepping out of judgment, moving into a more compassionate state of mind towards yourself or towards others. So we're going to see how that's coming in here with Grandmother Rosemary. You're welcome to pause and read through this on your own, but I am going to go ahead and read it with you, and we're going to take our time here. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a little look-see here. We see Grandmother Rosemary, rooted into the soil, glowing in mature self-expression above ground while still connected to the earth. From beneath her, golden light travels up and out, symbolizing the innate radiance coursing inside each of us from the love who creates us all. In the foreground, 2 sprigs from the plant offer a closer view. Even though they appear separate from their mother, they are never outside her presence or protection. As if in a fairy tale, you entered an enchantment when you came into this world, willingly agreeing to forget certain things so that you might learn and grow from remembering again. Taking the time to consciously remember is another way of expressing love towards yourself. Your soul knows who you are, what you want, when and where you've been before, why you are here, and how to be. Grandmother Rosemary reminds you to watch for the clues you scattered for yourself in mapping out this lifetime beforehand. Her fresh, woodsy, spicy aroma offers inspiration and insights in understanding what you find. And this is specifically from the card itself here, or the energy of Rosemary. And they say here, "Wake up, dearest. It's time for you to know again. the things you knew before. Here, take my hand. Feel the cool, smooth lines of my fingers inside your own. It's safe to let your memories and knowing come, however they will. More than what you see, remember who you are. Here, your form, love itself. Ooh, I love this card in the fact that it's such a deep connection to not only ourselves here in this physical plane and reconnecting with the lessons and wisdom we've already learned in this lifetime, but also if you believe in past lives, if you believe in reincarnation, or even if you just believe in the way that evolution works through time and time and time again, you know, maybe we were a dandelion in a past life, maybe we were a blade of grass, right? What wisdom did we learn from nature when we don't see ourselves apart from it, but rather a part of it? And so I really feel like Grandmother Rosemary here is a reminder to really look in deeply into your roots, into your ancestral roots, your inner knowings. If you think of past lives, that kind of thing too, right? Looking from all different pathways, from all of the different ways leading in and around and above and aside from all of the wisdom that you've learned, and reminding yourself to really connect with Source, connect back to the wisdom you've learned, connect back to the lessons you've learned. I mean, how many times have we been in a situation where you'd think we'd learned our lesson, but we hadn't? Or, you know, we learned our lesson 10 years ago, but it repeats in a new cycle and from a new perspective, right? So you might be in a situation right now where you're kind of revisiting a lesson you've learned from the past, or revisiting a cycle from the past that you maybe broke away from, or are kind of digging back up in some way. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more context here with some more details, really. So let's see. Group 3, a little bit more details about what this source connection is and kind of why it's coming forward. This was the one on top of all of the cards here. And you got the 7 of Stones. Very similar, like if you're looking at these two cards, they feel very similar in the fact that this person here, if they represent you, is glowing just like the roots here at the bottom of this rosemary bush. So I really feel like there's this connection, this deep connection through meditation even. You might find that a great way to connect with your ancestors, to connect back to Source, to connect back to gods, goddesses, spirits, to connect to ancestral wisdom, is by just sitting. And there's even 2 plants on, like flanking either side of them. That's crazy. The symmetry, wow, I can't say words today, are really coming forward here. So that's why I keep getting this feeling of a cycle that you're repeating, something that you're revisiting and looking from a different angle than you had from the past, or, adding another layer to it, and really soaking it in, really learning from it from a new angle, adding another layer to it. And so I really do think that you're just really learning and taking in the lessons that are all around you right now, or the wisdom that is both around you and within you already. And I know this seems really vague, and I think that it's vague for a reason, in the fact that it's going to be so different for each of you. And it's such an overarching message as well, in the fact that it's definitely one of those things that are hard to even pinpoint when you're in the moment, right? When we're thinking of lessons, sometimes you can only see them in hindsight. Sometimes it's hard to be present or notice them in the moment. So gaining that perspective, that outside look, might give us a little bit more context as well. So I want to look a little further with the plants of this deck, or the flora of this deck, and see what's coming forward for you. So group 3, what else do we have coming through here for group 3? Okay, and then you have oak with the acorn here, and the number 13 showing up here as well. 13 is all about it relates to the death card, in the fact that it relates to the idea of endings and beginnings really meeting together. And so where an oak tree can really have its difficult and most poignant downfalls is the fact that it's a water source. It really holds a lot of water, and so in doing so, it also is a source for lightning and for storms to really hit the tree and cause really big damage. But in doing so, it also can knock these acorns off, and acorns are, the seed of the next tree, the next seedling to come forward. So it really feels like this meeting point between endings and beginnings. Again, this connection to source in that same way. So you might right now just really feel very connected to source, feel very connected. And source could mean anything to you, right? It could be a god, it could be a goddess, it could be the universe, it could be spirit, it could be anything, right? However you really see that in your life and how it's reflected in your life, I just feel like you are connecting with source in a way that is opening up new beginnings, but to do so can be quite difficult, right? It means that you have to shine a light on some of these lessons, shine a light back on some of these ancestral connections that maybe have been lost or severed over time, or connections that have very deep roots to them that aren't necessarily all healthy. And so I do see that a new beginning is emerging or is forming right now for you, but it's definitely going to take a little bit of a shock to the system to reconnect with or to build ties back with. So like I said, we've been talking a lot about how, this cycle, this reconnection, all of that kind of stuff, but we haven't really talked about how you might need to be a little bit more tender with yourself right now when it comes to these new beginnings, because they're going to be kind of rehashing some old stuff, and sometimes we're not ready for all of that. So take your time, give yourself a little bit of grace, be kind to yourself as you move through this process, for sure. So I want to pull some charms to finish off your reading and to look a little bit deeper here. So definitely feel free to send in your own energy into the charms, and we're going to see what comes back for you. Ooh. Okay, so a couple of different charms coming out on the sides here, so I just want to give them a little bit more of a go here. So let's zoom in and look at these. So what I really like that's coming through here is we're getting a little bit more context as to what this source is. And you're getting this paw print charm as well as the letter C showing up. So C can be initials, they could be, names, that kind of stuff, to give you a little bit more context. But you're also getting the paws, which is telling me that it could be a animal, that you're connecting to, an animal spirit of some sort, whether an animal that or a animal that you're connecting with on a spirit sort of plane here. Otherwise, it can also be an ancestral thing of following in someone's footsteps or looking back down lineage, right? So we have that showing up here for some more context. It could also be something that is related to childhood, or maybe even an animal that you had when you were a child coming through here. But that may not be for everyone. Other things that we have showing up here that I really like is that you kind of almost have the the helm kind of at of your ship right here. So whenever I'm looking at this one, it's like a steering wheel to remind you that you are at the helm, you are the one steering the wheel. So if you don't feel like you're ready to steer to the next thing, to maybe break certain cycles or to look deeper or to dive deeper, you are the one who gets to decide how much connection you have or how deep you want to go, or you get to choose where you're going and what direction and how and when and all of that kind of stuff. It definitely feels like if there is some sort of spirit trying to connect with you, they're letting you take your time and they're not pushing that connection. I think also when it comes to the oak, you have a lot showing up here. You have 2 showing up, so again, more connection, more partnership, someone trying to connect with you, and also 2 being, again, that sense of like that death and rebirth cycle, that the duality of the 2. And then you also have 2 charms showcasing breaking cycles. You have the little mini breaking cycle charm, and then you have other cycles that are breaking as well. So where you maybe have felt like you're repeating a cycle or again revisiting a cycle, that's definitely showing up here and is going to give you an opportunity for some new beginnings to come forward. You also have the intuition charm of the amethyst coming in here as well. And then on top of that, you also have the locket charm, which means again you're opening up something very dear to your heart, something maybe you haven't opened up in a long time, and to be able to open up this wisdom to form these connections, there is this sense of needing to break open a shell or to open up maybe a very sensitive topic or situation from the past in order to do so. But again, you get to choose when and where and how fast it happens, and that is very important and is coming through quite deeply, this charm. So overall, those are all of the cards and charms that you have coming through for you here, group 3. I do hope that this wisdom and this connection has been very useful and helpful to you. Like I said, you're welcome to look even deeper into the oak spirit, the rosemary spirit, to look deeper into any other spirits that might have come forward for you as well, to see more wisdom, to seek out more connections, to look into them as you go through the next couple of months and see where it takes you, right? So I do hope this has been useful to you. If it was, do be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts of, why maybe you chose this specific deck, maybe what was really calling you to it, what signs were really coming forward, if different charms called to you. Always curious to hear your thoughts. And if you like these pick a card readings and you want to see more of them in the future, as well as more educational videos on charm casting or art magic, then definitely feel free to subscribe as I put out new videos every single Monday. And as we are still in the new year, if you would like to get a snail mail or digital reading sent to you, then definitely feel free to check out those New Year's readings down below. They look into the theme of the year, into overarching messages, into the nitty-gritty of the obstacles and strengths for you for the new year, and many, many other things. So I have 3-card and 7-card formats that you can look into on my Instagram, or you're welcome to just email me questions and I'm happy to send you more information. But all of that is down below if you want to look into it and support yourself as well as support the channel by getting yourself a reading. So thank you so much for hanging out here with me today, to looking into this source and this wisdom, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.